How are you doing?
How are you?
Good.
Would you listen to the program?
Sure. Oh, thank you.
Start getting hit.
I emailed you that.
Sometimes I wonder if we need to put a blind out there on that
Sign up
window.
So, want to share it with all your friends.
Is there anybody on it?
No, it's a, if you
I know
make
last
somebody
week, last time we got it.
something, they
big
can
time.
go and sign up. Because
Oh,
you can't
got it.
remember where I start. I don't know.
You have to scratch paper somewhere, right?
Somewhere, I don't know. Everybody's got a piece of paper, but just junk away those papers.
Very good deal. Thank you. Barbara Joe, thank you. Bobby. Who did? Barbara. Oh.
You have to move your truck.
No, right, the dome light was on. Brian, let's get started.
You better wait till 6:30 exactly.
What?
6:30.
Oh, I will. Going to this. Seven Barclay.
I'm out of town all next week.
Yeah, I was happy.
And there's October 7th, there's that police department
I can't do that. I'm not being Twin Falls.
breakfast
Oh, I can't make the
at
breakfast.
Hemming,
because I gotta-
Hemming Village.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Yeah, I'll be in Twin Falls.
Yeah.
All next week.
Oh,
I'm going on the boat. I'll be on a sailboat.
perfect timing. Just a couple more minutes and we'll get started. Okay, we'd like to welcome everyone to City Council tonight. I'd like to have some high school projects done for government tonight. So I'd like to welcome you to the most exciting time you're going to have in your life here. We'd like to start our meeting. First, the mayor's not here tonight, so I'll be running the show. So And we'd like to also excuse Councilmember Eric Erickson. Let's start our meeting with a prayer by Councilmember Reeser, and then Councilmember Chambers will lead us in the pledge.
Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful at this time to meet together as citizens and leaders of the city of Rexburg and to discuss the needs of the citizenry this day. Father, we're grateful for the good community that we have and the wonderful people that live here. We ask that blessings be upon us at this time, that we might be wise, that we might listen to each other, that we might be civil to each other, and that we might consider the needs of all in the decisions that we make. Father, we're grateful for where we live. We're grateful for the country and the community which we have, and ask that thou might continue to bless us. And we ask for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Deborah, I guess we need to roll call the council members. Here.
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 It looks like we have a quorum, so. Now we got to proceed. Number 3 on the agenda is welcome a new employee, Christopher Maybe. Like to come up to the front here and tell us a little bit about yourself. You're working with the water department, right?
Yes, sir.
Is Gordon your in relation?
Yes, sir. That's my father.
Good guy.
And Trent's my younger brother with the streets. Devin Walker is also my brother-in-law. So we're just kind of taking over the city departments one by one, you know. No, I came to the water department. I've got 12 years of construction experience. I've been in the oil field and worked pipelines, build pipeline systems. And so I thought the water department would be a good place that I could give back to the community that's given so much to me.
Good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, number 4 on our agenda is public comment. This item is not on the agenda. I'd like to come forward. Mr. Oki, please state your name and address.
Steve Oki, 175 South Mill Hollow. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to petition, which I'm going to do. There's a saying, something to the effect that if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So I'm here to ask. If you were to review the minutes for the public hearing Wednesday, the 19th of March, where the room was full with various patrons discussing the LID. I believe that's LID 20, 50, 54 and 45 and others. I was the sole person voting in favor without preconditions of that LID. And why wouldn't I? I stand to gain from the improvements that the city was pushing forth with the new street, new gutter, new concrete. I paid for the original concrete, and I was happy to pay for an improvement, which my business needed. And recognizing that I was also going to feel a little bit of pain during the process. And I was happy to do so because of the improvements that would be forthcoming, not only to me, but to my neighbors and to the city. And the city has been very progressive in tackling a lot of the deteriorated roads that we have around the town. We were given also some preferences that we had in forms of payment to pay for the LID on our various properties. As I mentioned, I was happy to pay for mine, and I was happy to pay for mine in a lump sum. And in fact, when I first contacted Joel Gray on my particular property and recognizing that the information that I have is probably outdated, I know that there's been some updates, so my information is lacking. And for that, I can't come fully informed, but only based on what little information I have. When I first talked to Joel, my piece of property has 2 entrances and only 2. And my property was slated to have one of those entrances, the concrete apron replaced. And I told Joel, let's replace the other one. Both of them are in poor condition and I'll pay for them. Jumping forward, here we are. I think that the project, I've spoken with Keith, I've spoken with Joel, I've spoken with Brent, I've spoken with several of the folks on the scene with HK Contractors, one of the managers, one of the excavators, and I've come to discover that there's been a little bit of a delay. Understandably, there's people that quit. It's difficult to find qualified labor. These are all understandable issues. There's complications that show up. I think that originally the project was slated to begin during the 7-week period when the school was out. And for many of you who are familiar with feast and famine periods, when the students come back, for many of the businesses in town, there's a great sort of replenishment of the business. And I, because of the condition of the road, suffered. The HK folks and the city have tried diligently to keep some openings to the businesses. As I mentioned, I think I'm probably the only business on First South and First West that only has one access. Many other businesses have dual accesses to get into them. My business is down probably 75, 80%. Happy to do it, as painful as it is. If you were to go to that site now, you'll see them completely shut off, understandably, because they are currently digging up the sewer and they have no recourse but to shut my business down. That all being said, there are certain unknowns. So, for example, it's unknown whether or not my business will suffer irreparably from goodwill of the customers. I just had a text this evening before I came here, a person asking me when it was going to be open. So I'm living with that. It's fine. My request is, as I opened with my statement, is that because I'm feeling an exquisite and probably a unique amount of pain because of the circumstances, the location of my business, I think I have a little bit of a unique pain, and I'm asking the city to share that with me. I am a little bit reluctant to join the LID. There's an option to go 10 years out and pay. I don't want to do that. I want to pay for the improvements. But I would like the opportunity to have a discussion to stretch those payments out, similar to the conditions that I was originally hoping to pay for. My payment originally was going to be upfront in one lump sum. Given the amount of money that I'm currently losing and the cost to me of the project, I was hoping that I might have a conference to get some recompense. I could make a suggestion here and recognize that I am not asking for a dialogue while I'm at this podium and you're sitting in there. But at some point, I was just tossing around the idea. I'd like to have at least a year, maybe 2 years payout with monthly sums, interest-free. I think that the interest currently on the LID is 3%. I'm reluctant to want to do that and hopefully might be able to get a little bit of a partnership in the suffering of pain through this whole process. So thank you for hearing my petition.
So what do we need to do? Who can he meet with? Keith, you know who we can have this dialogue with?
Answer would also.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can meet with him, staff
Okay.
can meet with him on it. I mean, ultimately it's going to come back to the council, right? That's not a decision necessarily that staff can make on that because it's kind of a one-off, if you will. So that would need to come back to the council, but we could definitely sit down with Mr. Oki and have a conversation.
If I put this bug in your ear and let you think about it, we can have a discussion and give me a little bit of allegiance in this whole process. Cash wise, it's very painful, but I'd be happy to entertain a conversation with anybody in the staff and subsequently with the city council to see if I can get some help. Don't want to shirk my responsibilities, be a good citizen, shake hands with the partners that are improving my condition. And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for your patience with the whole thing.
Can I ask one
You
question?
bet.
Do we know how long until what the timeline is? I can't remember if we've been told.
I just heard the 20th of October for pavement.
So a few more weeks. Hopefully it won't be too bad. So, okay. Well, thank you for that. Is there anybody else? So, Mr. Oki, we'll make sure they get a hold of you when it's worked out.
Gail Hawks, 600 Tars Drive. So I'm trying to get some understanding, similar to this gentleman's here, of why the LIDs around the university started so late. I know that there can be delays, and so I'm just trying to understand what happened. The other half of Park Street has started, and for a week, my neighbors have taken photos of the road, and there's nobody there. They dug it up, and they have done nothing. And so winter is coming early this year. We've seen all the signs of that. And I'm concerned about whether or not the concrete's going to cure. Like the other half of Park Street, it did not cure, and the city had to have it redone. I'm getting a little worried and wondering what's happening so that we can address this issue.
Keith, you want to explain how our construction time works?
Yeah, so with the contractors, so we have HK Contractors, they're the construction company. And so we have a date that we give them to complete projects by. Now, sometimes those projects don't obviously always go according to plan. Sometimes there's different events that happen or change of conditions. And so sometimes those dates extend, right? Because there's things that come up that we need to extend the dates on. And so with that, it's just a lot of times it depends on the contractor. So for Park Street, for example, it's when they could get their milling machine in. So they came in and milled the asphalt out. And then they're trying to get their other crews from different projects. So if they're delayed on other projects, they might be delayed coming up to Rexburg. So there's lots of different variables at play, unfortunately. I mean, we would love to get it done well in advance, but sometimes that doesn't pan out like we hoped it would. But definitely there's things that we put in place as we get into cold weather. I mean, obviously you mentioned concrete curing, things like that. So there's blankets that go on the concrete, things of that nature to help with that curing.
But that didn't work on Park Street, the other half of Park Street.
And so, yeah, depending on those ones went way longer.
Yes.
Than what we would like. And so so you put blankets, you do heat. There's lots of different things you can do with cold weather curing. But you're right. Sometimes that doesn't work out and it has to be replaced.
Okay. So I think it'd be a really good thing. We saw a lot with the opening of the university of how many things were going on in Rexburg. And I recognize that some of it was unavoidable. The school district did not set the football schedule. So that was game one, the first of 4 home games that they're having. It just seemed like there was something that could have happened better with the planning. I don't believe the city has a city planner anymore. And that is something that I think as we're growing really needs to be looked into, that there is some communication, and especially with the residents, of what's going to happen and the timelines of things. Because I don't know, when the university started that day, that was a really big stressful day for a lot of people to have that road shut down, the homecoming parade, and the university starting. It was a lot to deal with. And so I think that a lot of people would appreciate some communication about how we go forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Hey, Keith, could I get you to shut that door just a little bit?
Yeah, feeling like you're getting interrogated.
Blinding me by the,
See,
it's reflecting off that door pretty bright. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move in. Is there anybody else? Okay, go ahead.
Hello there. My name is Cody Miller. I live with my parents at 710 Lodgepole Street here in Rexburg, Idaho. Hi.
Hello?
I just wanted to simply discuss the issue about the Rexburg Pump House and its going to be conversion into the Rexburg History Museum. I'm a college student here at BYU Idaho. I work for BYU Idaho Radio, and I also work for the newspaper called The Scroll. And I wanted to see if you guys would like to share any sort of message or some kind of information that I could be used to contact about the development of the project, because I think this is a really good idea, because not only just one but two museums here in Rexburg. I mean, we got Idaho Falls beat, you know. I just wanted to have more information on not just who to contact, but maybe even get an interview with one of you guys at a future date that may not be today, but it can definitely be later on, either this week or at the beginning of next week.
I think we're still working on.
Yeah, no decisions have been made yet.
Yeah, like we haven't had any discussion much on it at all. So probably the best thing to talk to the mayor, and he'll be back tomorrow. I think he'll be back Friday.
Oh, what time will he be available to?
Here about 8 in the morning. 8 in the- Just whenever. Just call and ask for him.
Alrighty. Thank you for your time, guys. And hello, President Chambers. It's good to see you, man. President of the Rexburg Idaho Temple. I work under him for a limited capacity. He's an awesome dude.
Thank you. Anybody else? Perfect. Move now to our staff report. Keith Davison, you're on the hot seat.
All right, just a couple updates where we don't have any decisions we have to make today for Public Works, so that's great. So the mayor wanted me just to first off mention that LEPC met today, so that's the Local Emergency Planning Committee. And so in that one, the discussion kind of revolved around chem packs. So if there's ever a chemical incident in the area, generally probably look at railroad cars or maybe farming incidents where there's chemicals that went out that the federal government has placed in certain areas around the state, these chem packs or these storage units, and there's one in Idaho Falls for our area. And so if there was a big incident and the hospitals were out of the medicine for these chemical incidents, so they could pull from that. And so that was a kind of the discussion from the LEPC today. So the LEPC, just for your information, just discusses each month looking at different emergency situations and how we would prepare for those on that. And then the other items I'm going to bring up, but we kind of talked a little bit about the construction and the paving. They're looking at the 20th of October for paving those roads. Right now, they're finishing up the sewer line on First West. So they're getting that in place. There was an unmarked fiber line that got hit that we're trying to figure out whose fiber line it is. So far, we haven't found out. We think it might be just a private one that goes between the Melaleuca call center and their IT department that's across the road. So incidents like that, unfortunately, slow down the project because they're trying to figure out whose it is so they can come in and get it fixed. The contractor would love we'll just push the dirt back in, compact it up and move on. But we know someone have to get back in there to fix that. So there's delays that happen, unfortunately, like that. And then the last thing I was just going to mention on the LID advisory group, I believe Deborah's kind of created a link. So if there's people that would like to volunteer to be on that advisory committee, the discussion I was having with the mayor is, maybe we come up with a list of names and ask people, because I would love to have
a varying group of people on that advisory committee. I'd love to have a business owner, apartment owner, someone who's been on an LID, someone who hasn't been on an LID, kind of have a good cross section of our community to have that discussion with. So hopefully we can get some people like that. And I don't know if there's any council members that would like to be on that advisory committee, just to sit in or not. So you can give that some thought if you'd like to sit in on that.
Didn't you emailed us the link, didn't you, for that? The ID. So
Today? Oh, okay, that's what I was gonna ask for. So then, did you want us to just give that link to the individuals that we know are interested? Okay.
Yeah. So that'd be great. Okay, that's all I've got.
anybody have anything for Keith? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Got up easy tonight. Number 6, mayor's business. Mayor isn't here, so we won't discuss his business. Number 7, items of consideration. 7A, approval of a plat recording extension of Teton View Estates at 1114 North the Yellowstone Highway. Katie,
Hello,
how are you tonight?
thank you. So the applicant is just requesting an extension for the recording deadline. Our code says they have to have it recorded with the county clerk within 6 months of city council approval, or the approval is rendered null and void. So we're just coming upon that 6 months. They came before you April 2nd and was approved. We just needed an extension so that they have a few more months to go ahead and secure their financing, gather their signatures, and record that plat.
How long extension are they asking for?
The standard extension is 6 months.
Anybody have any questions, anything on this? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we give an extension to the Teton View Estates.
I'll make that motion to make extension for Teton View Estates for 6 months. And then if not by then, they can come back forth in front of us.
Okay, we have a motion by Colin Erickson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Johnson. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, they got their approval.
Thank you.
And then B, 7B, planning and zoning recommendation to approve the Valley View Division number 6 plat amendment located along West Side Drive to combine 3 lots into 2, reducing the total number of lots in the plat.
So this amendment is part of the Valley View Division 6 Phase 3 plat. The original plat contains 8 lots. What they're asking to do is combine 3 lots into 2. So originally, each lot is 0.4 acres, 0.42 acres right in there. They want to go ahead and split the one down the middle and combine it to the other 2, which would result in about a 0.6 acre lot for each side. So it would reduce the number of lots from 8 to 7 within the original plat.
Do you have any questions on this?
If I understand this one correctly, it borders the back of the church house up there on the
Correct.
property.
Yep.
And just curious, it meets all zoning requirements and everything there.
It does. The LDR1 zone only requires a 1/4 acre lot.
Okay.
They wanted to build a little bit bigger house to kind of match what's in the area. And so this way they can each have their own parcel for their residence.
So is it the developer that's asking for this, or is it a private
It is,
private ownership that already owns do they own all 3 lots?
they do own all 3 lots.
Okay.
More questions? No, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Valley View Division number 6 plat amendment.
Okay, motion made by Councilmember Reeser. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Chambers. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Okay, number C. I think Spencer's going to join us on this one. Discussion regarding short-term rentals in low-density zones where property owner lives on the lot next door or a shared twin home.
Council President, members of council, how are you tonight?
Excellent.
Just quickly, Alan from Planning and Zoning has had a couple of inquiries and questions that he's brought to my attention regarding the matter as written in the agenda, short-term rentals and development code 4.00.025 subsections B and C. As this council knows and has had the discussion, you passed an ordinance requiring the owner must be living on site and tag RR1, RR2, LDR1, LDR2, and LDR3, or have a manager living on site. Two specific examples or requests that have been made to Alan in the past month, I would say 5 weeks. One where the individual lives in the home next door and was asking for an exception to that ordinance. The next, living in a twin home, not on the property in question, but in the twin home next. Again, Alan was seeking instruction because, again, I think it's in one of those, where do we make an exception here? And my take on it was the ordinance is clear. If we want to create a variance from that ordinance, it probably needs to be worked into the ordinance and change the ordinance. And so he requested that we bring that forward to discuss if there should be any amendments to allow some of those exceptions, or if this council feels that it has been discussed, flushed out properly, and you like it as written. Again, the mayor's not here tonight. He stopped by my office today, spoke to me about his thoughts on the matter, asked me to share that he believes it's appropriate as written. Again, and cited some of his reasoning there with, again, he circled back to his prior discussion that this council has had with the reasons of having the owner there to avoid certain conflict and issues with the neighborhood, to avoid issues with what he believes could be financial impacts of people being able to create a short-term rental where they're not living on site. So again, I would turn the time back over to you for any discussion, whether to entertain a motion to amend or give leave to Alan to discuss those changes, or leave it as it is currently written.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this an awful lot just since I've been on the council, and the state has really limited our ability to regulate short-term rentals as it is. I feel like this ordinance is the only thing we have to regulate in those low density zones where we have neighborhoods. And I mean, I've lived in 2 neighborhoods right across the street from someone who was not following the rules and had Airbnbs, and it's really hard on the neighborhood. One of them, we were afraid that our children were going to be run over because people would come and stay there and they'd party, they'd be up late. It's not a neighborhood if it's like that. And so we already have them in neighborhoods. This would just make more of them in neighborhoods. So I would really, really like to leave it as is.
I agree.
Yeah, Simon, same. I think it's not broke, why fix it? If we make this exception, what's our next exception we have to make?
You could have whole little
Yeah.
pockets in the middle of our neighborhoods if we do that.
Yeah.
Mr. President, that's why I think too, this has been discussed on this even before I got on the council. And I think they worked it through and thought very heavily on how it impacts the neighborhood, just like Council Johnson said. Even this last week, I got contacted from another one in another area of our city. They do possibly have a manager down the basement, but it's just really a tenant. So we're looking at that. I've talked to Alan about that, and it causes definitely problems in in the neighborhood with them coming in and out. So I say leave it as is too.
Well, and issues like this seem to creep forward. If you give a little, 6 months later, you're gonna be asked to give a little bit more. So,
And by then your ordinance is out the window.
And again, my counsel to Alan has been, if you're seeking any variance, any change to the law, bring it to the city council. Again, I don't think it's our place as staff to make those exceptions when the ordinance is clear. So again, I think we have our marching orders there. So appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you bringing that to us. So thank you.
Okay, item number 8. We have calendar bills. We have no second reading. We have a third reading on ordinance number 1337, amendment to the Rexburg Development Code, ordinance number 1200. I have a motion to consider this third read.
I'll make that motion to say this ordinance has been third read, 1337.
Motion made by Colin Erickson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Johnson. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's considered third read.
Council President, before we jump into approving the bills and minutes, can I bring up one thing to Keith? I wish I brought up earlier. Looking at the website, we were talking about communication back to the citizens. We do have right on there, talking about our streets, what's going on. I think we get a little bit outdated on that. So if the citizens are looking to find out, like the pavement, that'd have been great to have on here. So they know that. So if we can get with our IT and maybe update them on a regular
Yep.
basis.
Yeah, we try to get them updated. I just found that information out today.
Okay.
So that's probably why it's not
That's
been
why we're just
updated.
finding out
But
about.
we always want to put estimated on there because
Yeah.
there's unfortunately things that can change. But we're trying to get what information where they're at with it on that website, because we have the website and we even try and get some out there. There's some that we don't obviously control if it's construction happening on a private residence or there's a apartment complex going in. We try and get those on there as well. So it's a new system that we've kind of laid out this year with that, trying to get better information out. But definitely we're always looking for ways we can improve on it.
And that's one way the citizens can look in and jump on the webpage. We're trying to get that more communication because the paper's kind of hard to do that. But so look at that webpage. We'll try to keep up on that. for you. Yeah, it's right there. And you can go down the street construction, just go.
Street page.
And then it'll have into going down even deeper into it a little bit. It says construction project map and then into streets.
Okay, so it's that.
And like I say, we're just coming more, trying to communicate better with the citizens. That will be one area we can do better and we'll kind
I
of
did
commit
look
to
at
that.
that map today. I don't remember seeing anything updates. So if I missed it, help me figure out where I need to be looking.
And like I say, that's why I'm just bringing it up. So we can look at that and try to do better, trying to communicate that back to the citizens. So Keith can take that back to our department.
Yep.
To do that. That would be good. Okay. That's all I have, Council President.
Okay, anything else? Okay, then we go item number 9, consent calendar, which is the approval of the minutes from September 17th, 2025 meeting and approval to pay direct the city of Rexburg bills. Do I have a motion to accept the consent calendar?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the consent calendar.
You have a motion by Councilmember Chambers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Reeser. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Okay, is there anything else? If not, then we stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thanks, Mr. Crandall, for how's things up on, going good?
I've had one since went to 3 a.m.
We were grateful to get those in.
Yeah, so. Good. Yeah, so there's been some long.
When was it?
And the Christmas.
Yeah.